As the main character of your life, you know how important it is to make the right choices for you, and how sweet it is to feel good about your decisions. With the State Farm Personal Price Plan, you have options to help create an affordable price for you, so you can continue living your best life. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can choose to bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Hey there, it's Ryan Seacrest for Safeway. Now through August 28th, it's back to deals time where you can enjoy store-wide deals and earn 4 times points. Look for in-store tags to earn on eligible items from Black Label Bacon, Pop-Tarts, Quaker, Activia, Lunchables, Frito-Lay, Goldfish, and Jack Links. Then clip the offer in the app for automatic event-long savings. Shop in-store or online for easy drive-up-and-go pickup or delivery. Subject to availability. Restrictions apply. Visit Safeway.com for more details.
Hi, this is Joe from Vanta. In today's digital world, compliance regulations are changing constantly, and earning customer trust has never mattered more. Vanta helps companies get compliant fast and stay secure with the most advanced AI, automation, and continuous monitoring out there. So whether you're a startup going for your first SOC 2 or ISO 27001, or a growing enterprise managing vendor risk, Vanta makes it quick, easy, and scalable. And I'm not just saying that because I work here. Get started at Vanta.com.
If you travel to tick off landmarks and top 10 eats lists, Salt Caravan probably isn't for you. But if you travel for flavour, connection, and meals locals only tell friends about, you might want in. Backroom dishes, market stall secrets, chef's table tips you won't find online, a handful of people you'll want to share dessert with. We're not public yet, but early listeners can join our waitlist group and get insider perks. Open your invite at saltcaravan.com.
This is the Daily Tech News for Thursday, August 28th, 2025. We tell you what you need to know. We follow up on context. We help each other understand.
Today, Andy Beach tells us why Meta bought an emotional speech startup, and Copilot is coming to Samsung TVs, and y'all are not pleased in the slightest.
I'm Tom Merritt.
I'm Huyen Dow.
Let's start with what you need to know with the big story. Samsung announced it will incorporate Microsoft Copilot into the Samsung Vision AI experience, which is basically the assistant on its 2025 TVs and monitors. You'll be able to get it in the home screen, Samsung Daily Plus, and click to search. If you're a Samsung user, you might know what those are. Basically what happens is you can either use the voice command on your TV or select Copilot on the remote. And then, I don't know if you saw it when the little Microsoft blob, it kind of looks like a peach or a pink teardrop.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
I did.
They showed that off earlier this year. That'll be on the Samsung TVs. And then it'll answer your questions, respond to your queries, etc. Search results will be improved because they can be based on what the model knows about your viewing habits on the machine. If you sign into the Copilot app with your Microsoft login, it can reference previous conversations. You don't have to do that, but that's a benefit you get if you do. It can also answer questions about what you're viewing. You can say, like, who's that actor? Who's the quarterback? Which one of these guys is Travis Kelce? Stuff like that. Plot summaries, if you want to, can you tell me what happened on the first 3 episodes when you're coming back into a show? And Samsung promises it can, quote, support foreign language learning or help break down complex concepts. I didn't see any examples of the complex concepts that it would break down.
Quantum mechanics?
Yeah. Can you just, because that's what I want from my television.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
I can see the foreign language thing, maybe, with subtitles and stuff. Anyway, Samsung TVs also have a lifestyle hub already for food and recipes and all that. And you'll be able to talk to Copilot about food and wellness and other topics beyond entertainment. It's worth noting that Samsung isn't the only one bringing Copilot to TVs. LG is supposed to bring them as well. This is just the first launch. We'll probably get LG's launch pretty soon. Samsung said it will show up on the 2025 versions of its micro RGB, Neo QLED, or OLED TVs, as well as the Frame Pro, other Frame models, and the M7, M8, and M9 smart monitors. Those are monitors that have some TV functions built in. This continues the pushback of Google Assistant on these TVs. Samsung uses its own Tizen OS, So it's not a shock. LG uses its own WebOS. And while they could and have used Assistant, and they could but have not add Gemini, that's probably what Google would prefer, they've chosen to strike deals with Microsoft instead. Now, as we alluded to at the top of the show, the folks on our DTNS subreddit laid into this. Comments were on the order of, did someone ask for this? Or needs blockchain, a simple boo, and I want off this ride. So when is this just because it's Microsoft, or is it negativity towards chatbots in general that makes people hate?
I really do feel like this is just chatbots and people feeling like someone is trying to make their TV a Swiss Army knife, of things. And so to be totally fair, there's a lot of things that I think are compelling about some of the functionality, but this feels like a very common thing, not just with AI, but with tech in general, where, I don't know, someone sees an opportunity to make X the new place you do Y. And it's been like that forever. And unfortunately, the big X that we're trying to put in everybody's Y that sounds inappropriate is AI. And so I think we kind of take like a general situation we find in tech often, we insert AI. And so there's just probably more negativity than on average. But I will say, okay, so there's some good things here, right? I could see using click to search. I thought first it's circle to search, but there's something that are interesting. And it actually brings up something that I thought where, about 5 or 6 years ago, as a developer, I actually was quite excited about having machine learning for things like understanding a user's habits, understanding things that they like, content, what it was like surfacing things for people easier. And we were training models and all that sounded great. And I'm trying to introspect to myself, well, so what's so different in 2025 that I hate this? And I mean, part of it is a lot of the use cases that we have seen at best just not have as much utility, and at worst present incorrect information or things like that. And I see echoes of all this in this very long, blob of, no pun intended, functionality. And so I totally get that. I think it's just, I don't, and again, it also feels like in the last week, I don't know if it's actually happening, but everyone's talking about now, after some Altman said that, yes, there's an AI bubble. And I don't know if that's also feeding into, as well as letting people crystallize their feelings of negativity even more and wanting to get off this ride. That's my read.
We're at that point in the Gartner hype cycle, or whatever it's called, right?
Just over the
we're on the downside of the hump.
Downside,
yeah, that makes sense. I like the idea of this being if X, then A Y.
I don't know why.
Because I think you can cherry pick this, and I bet there are some really useful things in here. And the optimist in me says, hey, you know what? You got to try this sort of thing to figure out what things are useful. So I'm not against it. But there's so many things. I think the Microsoft hate is kind of pervasive these days. I feel like it's the 90s again. Everybody's mad at Microsoft. This time more for security and stuff, and sticking Copilot everywhere. So there is a little bit of that. I think anytime there's an animated assistant, then people just start, throwing tomatoes at it. And there is a little bit of that. TV operating systems generally try to get us to do things that we don't need to do historically. So this feels like that again. But I bet we will find some things where you're like, oh, actually, that is really cool. Being able to just say, what other things has that actor been in that I might know? Yeah. And then it knows oh, you recently watched this. He played such and such character. And you're like, that's it, without having to pull out the phone and open IMDb and scroll through. Again, that's not the most important thing in the world, right? But it's stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, click to search actually would be really handy. We recently watched a video. As my husband and I go to Japan a lot, we both speak some Japanese and are language learners. And we watched some random YouTube video where a guy was eating lunch on a beach near a kind of traditional Japanese inn. And we're like, oh my God, we have to go there. And so to give this credence, without click to search, we were doing forensic Googling where we were pulling up maps of the general area, looking at the topography in the surrounding landscape, and then looking at Google Maps. So I think that process would have been faster with click to search. And it makes sense also for advertising and stuff. Could you imagine seeing your favorite actor wearing something and you click on it? I mean, it just seems like from all perspective, it's a really rich opportunity. It's just, it's like right now, it's literally the darts thrown at the wall, except your TV's on the wall and the darts are AI things. I will say though that whoever first created Clippy, I hope that they feel validated that at least the company are to come back around again on digital assistants of some non-human.
Even Clippy's had a little bit of a rejuvenation. Yes. Like, there's a sense of humor about it. So, there is no cost to this. Microsoft's not charging you. Samsung's not charging you. You don't have to log in. So there's nothing that says you have to share your data with them. Obviously, these TVs collect a lot of data. So you may just want to unplug it from the internet and not use this, which you can do. Most of the control is in your hands here. And I understand why people might not want to use it. But yeah, I like the idea at a low enough cost to be able to say, like you're saying, where is that Ryokan? And have it be able to accurately respond. I guess that's the other half of it, is how accurate is Copilot.
Well, I mean, I guess we'll see. And if I don't know if anyone ends up using this and likes it or still boo, I want off this ride or get this out of my TV. Just let us know.
We do have those people have already let us know.
Oh, they let us.
Literally the boo and I went off this ride. So I'm not I'm saying you can't keep coming with that, but we're very clear on that aspect of it.
Yeah. But if you have first person experience and decided, this ain't it. This ain't it.
And here's why. Yeah,
and
that would be helpful.
Yes. All right. Well, DTNS is made possible by you, the listener. We want to take time to thank Michelle Sergiu, Kirk Stephenson, and Miranda Janelle.
As well as new patrons, Gabriel and Brett.
I'm so sorry. I missed it. There was a break. And welcome, Gabriel and Brett. I'm so sorry.
No, Gabriel and Brett, you were just pausing to give them the spotlight.
Emphasis.
New patrons.
Picture this. You're in the garage, hands covered in grease, just finished up tuning your engine with a part you found on eBay, and you realize, you know what? I could also use new brakes. So where do you go next? Back to eBay. You can find anything there. It's unreal. Wipers, headlights, even cold air intakes. It's all there. And you've got eBay Guaranteed Fit. You order a part, and if it doesn't fit, send it back. Simple as that. Look, DIY fixes can be major. Doesn't matter if it's just maintenance or a major mod. You got it, especially when things are guaranteed to fit. So when you dive into your next car project, start with eBay. All the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love.
Hey there, it's Ryan Seacrest for Safeway. Now through August 28th, it's back to deals time where you can enjoy store-wide deals and earn 4 times points. Look for in-store tags to earn on eligible items from Lindor, Oreo, Lay's, Celsius, Cottonelle, and Snapple. Then clip the offer in the app for automatic event-long savings. Shop in-store or online for easy drive-up-and-go pickup or delivery. Subject to availability. Restrictions apply. Visit Safeway.com for more details.
Checking off the boxes on your to-do list is a great feeling. That's why a State Farm agent is there to help you choose a coverage option that's right for you. Whether you're getting a new house, car, boat, or RV, helping protect it is important. And State Farm is there to help you choose the coverage you need, whether you prefer talking in person, on the phone, or using the award-winning app. And with so many coverage options, it's nice knowing you have help finding coverage that best fits your needs, so you can continue to focus on what's most important to you. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, it's Maya and Sim from the Girls That Invest podcast. If you are an IT or security pro, you know managing devices, identities, and applications can feel overwhelming and honestly risky. That's where Trellica by 1Password comes in. It helps conquer SaaS sprawl and shadow IT by discovering every app your team uses, managed or not. With pre-built app profiles, you can assess risk, manage access, and even optimize your software spend. Plus, it simplifies onboarding, offboarding, and compliance, all while cutting costs by eliminating unused licenses. Take the first step to better security for your team. Learn more at onepassword.com/special offer.
If you travel to tick off landmarks and top 10 eats lists, Salt Caravan probably isn't for you. But if you travel for flavour, connection and meals locals only tell friends about, you might want in. Backroom dishes, market stall secrets, chef's table tips you won't find online, a handful of people you'll want to share dessert with. We're not public yet, but early listeners can join our waitlist group and get insider perks. Open your invite at saltcaravan.com.
There's more we need to know today. Let's get right to the briefs.
All right. Well, DJI released the DJI Mic 3, which is smaller and lighter at 16 grams versus the 28 grams of the Mic 2. It also adds a rotating clip along with the magnetic option for mounting the transmitter. You also get 5 colors of windscreen, so it stands out less from clothing, which of course is undermined by having the huge DJI logo on both sides. The charging case can also accommodate the transmitter with the mount and windscreen still attached.
Dang.
The transmitter can go 8 hours on a charge and the receiver 10 hours, and the case can charge them up about 2.4 times before it needs recharge. The range is estimated at 400 meters. If you buy multiple kits, you can support 4 transmitters and 8 receivers at once. So 4 people and 8 cameras at a time. It also supports Sony's 4-channel quadraphonic sound, and there are 2 sound modes: automatic for suppressing bursts of noise like wind, and dynamic mode, which evens out the volume in real time. It also has 3 voice tone presets and 2 active noise cancellation levels. The one big thing DJI took away is a 3.5 millimeter mic port on the transmitter, so you can't use your own mics. It's on sale now for $329 for a receiver and 2 transmitters, or $219 if you just need 1 transmitter and 1 receiver.
Yeah, good stuff. And the fact that you don't have to take the windscreen and the mount off to recharge. I mean, it seems silly, but that seems like the most revolutionary part of this for me.
I love this. And I have to admit, like, I get why they're taking away the 3.5 millimeter mic port. And it just feels like, man, I feel like if I see a YouTuber these days, everyone, especially anyone doing content, is always holding a wireless mic.
Yeah. And
I suppose it's 60% chance it's DJI, 40% that it's Rode. So this really does seem like DJI is leaning in. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and I love that. I mean, I am sad because I am a person that when I was recording video really liked using my own mic, so sad on me, but it makes a lot of sense. And wow, this is good on you, DJI.
Yeah. And it's only like, $10 for a Sharpie to color out that DJI logo. So. NVIDIA issued a disappointing earnings report that beat expectations for earnings and revenue and issued estimates higher than expected for next quarter. So you might go, wait, what? Why is that disappointing? That sounded good to me. It's because data center revenue fell short of estimates for the second straight quarter, and everybody thinks data center is the growth area for NVIDIA. Overall, company revenue rose 56% on the year. That's the 9th straight quarter of yearly growth over 50%. It sold no H20 chips to China last quarter, so it still made that revenue without the Chinese market, though it did sell some H20s outside of China. It did not include H20 sales to China in its estimates for next quarter either. Those rosy estimates don't include that, but it does believe it probably will be able to sell some if conditions prevail. NVIDIA's gaming division did gangbusters with the new NVIDIA cards, rising 49%, and its future growth area, smaller robotics division, rose 69%. Company also said that agreement to pay 15% of its sales to China to the U.S. government has not progressed beyond the early stages because the government hasn't indicated what regulations it's going to use to govern those payments. Remember when we talked about it on DTNS, we're like, we have lots of ways that we think they could make this legal, but they haven't said. And apparently they haven't told NVIDIA either. NVIDIA CFO Colette Kress said that sales to China can still proceed even if they don't get those regulations codified because they already got the license from the U.S. to export to China. And another thing that popped up in the earnings call, NVIDIA is joining Alphabet and Khosla Ventures in funding Commonwealth Fusion Systems to complete its demonstration of fusion energy. Fusion energy is a safe and clean way to produce abundant energy that everybody wants to make work, and nobody has actually made work yet in a practical manner. So the fact that they got this many investors means somebody at Commonwealth is convincing them that they can do it.
Sounds like the plot of that Val Kilmer movie, The Saint, which was a really good movie. Fusion was very central to that movie. Anyway, reviews are in for the Honor Magic V5 Foldable as it goes on sale in Europe, Asia Pacific, and the Middle East. It's currently the thinnest foldable yet at 8.88 millimeters when folded, but that's if you don't count the huge camera bump.
Which is like a kickstand.
It is, as someone who has a thin foldable with a big camera bump and feels like they're sending a telegraph message when it's sitting on the table and I'm reaching for it, one sympathizes very much. I don't even think that was I think that was Florence Ein who said that, and I agree. Telegraph. It can't, so the Honor Magic V5 though can't take the crown of thinnest when unfolded because it's 4.1 millimeters thick, just so fat, which is 0.5 millimeter thicker than the Huawei triple fold when unfolded. Otherwise, it's well reviewed on its specs. The Honor Magic V5 sells at a starting price of 1,699.99 sterling or 1,999 euros for a 512 gigabyte version.
Yeah, and reviews are all super positive for this. Now, though, that you said I'm not calling it fat, it made me think of Cardi B. Have you seen that yet?
Not yet.
She's like on the witness stand. Like, did you call her fat? She's like, no, I called her the B word.
Excellent. I didn't. Sorry.
And I'm not calling the Honor Magic the B word either.
I wonder which is wetter. Well, I'll think about it and let you know. Honor Magic V.
Apple has revoked distribution rights for the iTorrent client, which is distributed through the AltStore Pal third-party app store in the EU. So that's Apple blocking an app from a third-party store, not one from its own app store. Apple does not allow torrent apps in its own store, but the torrent client Qubit control appears to be unblocked for the moment, so it may not be just the fact that it's a torrent app. Apple has revoked the EU alternative distribution functionality from iTorrent developer Citrix's developer account. That's how they're able to do this. Apple has not explained the reason for the restriction to the developer or AltStore Pal, at least at the time that we're recording this.
All right. Well, the new Pixel 10 series is also getting good reviews for the functionality of its Gemini-powered features. And Google has launched a new after-purchase program called Pixel Care Plus, which replaces the previously less snappily named Preferred Care and Fi device protection in the U.S. Purchasers of the plan get unlimited claims for accidental or mechanical damage and pay nothing for screen and battery repairs. You can submit claims through the My Pixel app that arrived within Pixel 10 series. Pixel Care Plus for the regular Pixel 10 costs $9 a month or $179 for a 2-year subscription. Different prices apply to different devices, but you can get it for the entire Pixel 8, 9, and 10 series, as well as the Pixel Watch 2, 3, and 4, the Pixel Tablet, the Pixel Fold, and the Fitbit Ace LTE, Versa 4, Charge 6, Sense 2, and Inspire 3.
That's a lot of older stuff. So I assume this is if you already are paying for the preferred care, you can transfer it. Because I don't think all of those are being sold new. And you have to do these within 60 days of buying. But that's a pretty good plan. It's better than Apple Care in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and hopefully it being through the app is a little... I've had to go through Preferred Care before, and I'm sure that there's reasons why the experience is less than stellar, just because they're probably going through another company, yada, yada. I'm hoping that the experience will be better because I think even though they tend to be responsive and Google tends to cover things, like the process of getting it there feels very like 1999 or something.
They're promising that it's better, so hopefully it is.
Cross some fingers.
Samsung announced a Galaxy event, not unpacked. So this one's packed? I don't know. Anyway, it's happening next Thursday, September 4th on Samsung's YouTube channel, starting at 5:30 a.m. Eastern time. So this is coming from Korea, my guess. The event will discuss multiple devices from, and I quote, premium AI tablets to the newest member of the Galaxy S25 family, and presumably that last one is the Galaxy S25 FE, aka Fan Edition, which is usually cheaper, but, with some different specs, usually slightly lower.
Well, a YouTube video from Moore's Law is Dead claims to have some leaked specs on a forthcoming handheld version of the PlayStation. The channel has been reliable lately on PlayStation leaks, so it's worth noting. You should watch the video if you want all the specs, but the short version, is that it's a dockable handheld that could outperform the Xbox ROG Ally X and possibly the PlayStation 5. Based on the specs, the channel estimates it will cost between $399 and $499.
And PlayStation fans are super psyched about this, and they hope that it's true.
Oh, yeah.
If you're seeing headlines about research from SquareX that claims to show how passkeys can be stolen, I highly recommend you read Dan Gooden's article on Ars Technica. He does great work over there, and he pokes some holes in that research. Basically, SquareX compromised a browser with malware and then used that compromised browser to trick users into creating a new passkey that it could get access to. So no existing passkeys could be accessed. It didn't steal a passkey sitting on the computer that it had compromised a browser on. And as Gooden points out, if you compromise a browser in that way, that would let the attacker also compromise TLS encryption and end-to-end encryption in messengers like Signal, not to mention the security of SquareX services themselves. So this is like, hey, if you totally obliviate all security protections, guess what? You can get around other security protections.
So it's not surprising. Like my lack of surprise is showing.
Yeah.
All right. And finally, a sad goodbye to an early blogging platform pioneer, TypePad. The company, which launched in October 2003, stopped accepting new customers in 2020, but continued to support existing customers. That support ends September 30th. Existing customers must export their content by then. You can do that in movable type import format, which is compatible with WordPress.
I went and checked. I had a TypePad account at some point, but does not appear to still be around. So I have nothing to export. But yeah, I forgot all about TypePad, which I guess is the problem. But little piece of history there.
Bye-bye.
Those are the essentials for today. So let's dive a little deeper.
All right. Well, Meta is doubling down on voice, and they just bought a startup that brings emotional nuance to speech. Andy Beach has a story.
Andy, thanks again for joining us.
Hey, Tom. Good to see you again.
So this is Meta, a.k.a. The folks who brought us the metaverse, or will someday. They're really doing a lot to try to position themselves back into this race, right? They have a lot of AI products. They have opened some of them. I hesitate to say open source because there's some limits to how they're open, but they're opening things. So they really are trying to be scrappy. What does the acquisition of Waveforms AI do for them?
Yeah, so this is a kind of interesting AI space, I think, right now. I think there's a lot of people that are really focusing now on what audio can do with AI, and this is this whole world. So Meta has acquired Waveforms AI. It's a small but incredibly well-funded, in part because of who the co-founders are, startup. It's specializing in the AI voice model capability, but their hook is the ability to really get expressive emotion out of the model. This is a big complaint that I have heard a lot from particularly like studios where they want to use voice models, but there's no way for them to sort of direct the model to act the way that a voice actor could to get different ranges of emotion. So you're sort of stuck with what you've got, or you have to find ways to jump around it. So co-founder Alexis Kanu, who is previously from Meta and OpenAI.
I see. Okay.
hence the well-funded part, I think, believes that they have a way to have a more human-like conversation with AI assistants. So it's not even necessarily the studio model that I know wants it out there, but it's having an AI assistant potentially that seems to be like a more natural human language conversation, including being able to not only emote back to you, but also read your emotion. So if you sound harsh, it may understand that and may be able to adapt to that.
Yeah, especially for voice acting kind of situations, that would be important. I think you'd be forgiven for saying, well, I don't know, I've played with ChatGPT's advanced voice. It's pretty emotional, but it's also a little bit on rails, right? Like it is always the same kind of emotional reaction, right? It's a very cheery disposition most of the time, honestly.
Yeah, and that was the problem when we talked to people who were looking for sort of AI-powered voiceover and localization. They were losing the nuance of the actor's capability in the process of doing that virtual dub. And so if you can bring back in something that sort of reads emotion in it and can then relay that as part of the either the dub in this case, or even just interacting with someone, I think that's going to go a long way towards expanding adoption of voice already. We have a lot of people that are doing voice work anyway using AI localization or AI assistance. I think this increases the desire and the people who would be willing to adopt it.
So what does this matter to Meta? Are they going to get into the business of selling this to the studios, which I presume they could, or is it more about their own products?
I think it's a lot for them. So they're, going back to the fact, you open with Metaverse, they want the avatars in Metaverse to have a more human and natural sounding language and voice when you interact with it. They also want the assistants that they're working on that maybe show up in your messenger chat to be there. Also, the WhatsApp chat, WhatsApp has AI in it and could potentially have more sort of natural language, emotive responses that come from it. So I think this is like a horizontal technology for them, meaning they're not doing it just to service media companies. They're doing it to service a bunch of their different products, from Instagram to Facebook to the VR experience, all across the board.
You got someone who worked on OpenAI 4.0, who has gone out and created this on their own. So there's a good chance that this is very good. But as we've seen with Apple and Siri, for example, something being very good doesn't mean that it continues to grow and become better over time, right? So that's one concern I have with Meta. What are the other stumbling blocks?
Well, I think you call it out there, and it's one of these like proof is in the pudding sort of scenarios where it will absolutely have to prove itself. YouTube had a lot of backlash recently where there was low-grade voice clones that were really just causing people to basically drop out of videos really, really quickly. And subsequently, it led to them changing the policies we talked about last month, where they curbed the monetization on what we now think of as AI slop. So if this has that higher quality voice characteristics that we're expecting, in theory, then you should see longer engagements with AI voice cloned items, whether it's on an Instagram story or somewhere in Facebook or even on WhatsApp. So if they're getting that higher engagement, that probably is one of the KPIs, one of the proof points that they're looking for that says that this was a good investment for them.
Of course, the dark side is always it makes it another way to fool people until everyone catches on that AI voices can have emotions and react to your emotions.
It will be one of those, and I would probably be more worried if it were still an independent company about someone being able to leverage it for bad acting. My hope is with Meta acquiring it, they will have to safeguard against this so that they don't take the reputation hit, and we'll put the sort of the guardrails on this so that bad actors don't have an ability to exploit it.
Andy, thank you so much for helping us understand this. If folks want to get your stuff directly, where should they go?
Yeah, absolutely. I write about this and other topics in the media tech and AI space over at enginesofchange.ai.
Excellent. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Now, I realized when he said bad acting, he was talking about malicious actors, but it made me start to wonder, like, oh, it could also just be bad acting.
Bad voice acting.
Bad voice acting, yeah. Well, if you have feedback about anything that gets brought up on the show, get in touch with us on the socials at DTNS Show. We are at DTNS Show on X, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and Mastodon. For TikTok and YouTube, you can find us at Daily Tech News Show.
Checking off the boxes on your to-do list is a great feeling. That's why a State Farm agent is there to help you choose a coverage option that's right for you. Whether you're getting a new house, car, boat, or RV, helping protect it is important. And State Farm is there to help you choose the coverage you need, whether you prefer talking in person, on the phone, or using the award-winning app. And with so many coverage options, it's nice knowing you have help finding coverage that best fits your needs, so you can continue to focus on what's most important to you. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, this is Joe from Vanta. In today's digital world, compliance regulations are changing constantly, and earning customer trust has never mattered more. Vanta helps companies get compliant fast and stay secure with the most advanced AI, automation, and continuous monitoring out there. So whether you're a startup going for your first SOC 2 or ISO 27001, or a growing enterprise managing vendor risk, Vanta makes it quick, easy, and scalable. And I'm not just saying that because I work here. Get started at Vanta.com.
We end every episode of DTNS with some shared wisdom. Today, Damon has a question for Tom.
Yes, Damon writes, "Hey, DTNS crew. Tom has mentioned many times that Perplexity doesn't really fit with Apple's culture. I've seen this in many other news articles. What makes the two so different culturally? Maybe Apple acquiring Perplexity would be the exact thing that they need now. Would love to hear your thoughts." Well, generally what I mean when I say that is Perplexity has a reputation for playing a little fast and loose with privacy, for playing a little fast and loose with legalities like training, for that move fast and break things culture and ask for forgiveness later. And that is not Apple's culture. Apple is a very cautious culture. They're very privacy forward. They're very user centric. And those seem to clash. But I get what Damon is saying is, maybe Apple can change them if they hook up.
Apple can fix Perplexity.
Yeah.
The troublesome boyfriend that Apple can fix. Anyway, or girlfriend or however partner.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right. Well, what are you thinking about? Do you have a question for Tom? Do you have some insight into a story? Share it with us. Feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com.
Big thanks to Andy Beach and Damon for contributing to today's show. Thank you for being along for Daily Tech News Show. You can keep us in business. Just become a patron. Patreon.com/DTNS. Takes you a couple minutes. Nothing. Go do it. Talk to you soon.
The DTNS family of podcasts, helping each other understand.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
Checking off the boxes on your to-do list is a great feeling. That's why a State Farm agent is there to help you choose a coverage option that's right for you. Whether you're getting a new house, car, boat, or RV, helping protect it is important. And State Farm is there to help you choose the coverage you need, whether you prefer talking in person, on the phone, or using the award-winning app. And with so many coverage options, it's nice knowing you have help finding coverage that best fits your needs, so you can continue to focus on what's most important to you. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, this is Joe from Vanta. In today's digital world, compliance regulations are changing constantly, and earning customer trust has never mattered more. Vanta helps companies get compliant fast and stay secure with the most advanced AI, automation, and continuous monitoring out there. So whether you're a startup going for your first SOC 2 or ISO 27001, or a growing enterprise managing vendor risk, Vanta makes it quick, easy, and scalable. And I'm not just saying that because I work here. Get started at Vanta.com.